Many people have been asking about DNA, and they've been saying, now you're telling us about DNA, light codes, and what exactly is DNA? So today I'm welcoming you so that we can talk about this topic of DNA and how it actually helps you and is related to you as a human being. In understanding DNA, DNA is very vital in keeping information and light codes within different kinds of transmissions within our lives and the environment around us. Now we are going to talk about DNA as a storage material or drive for all information that you need to navigate this world. So the DNA, 1 gram of DNA can store up to 700 terabytes of information. There was this scientist by the name of George Church. What he did, he got an ebook, downloaded it directly onto DNA, into 1 gram of DNA. And he discovered that he could get it from there and download it back onto the drive, the ebook. And so when he did that, it was actually showing that, okay, now we can get data onto this hard drive of DNA and then be able to remove it from this 1 gram. So he replicated that one book 70 billion times. We are talking about 433 petabytes of data. You get what I'm trying to say? So that is huge information, if you can even imagine what that is. So he said, okay, now we've discovered that the DNA can actually be able to do this kind of thing. Now they went on to test other different kinds of findings and studies. And they realized that the DNA has got 13.5 billion generations, billion years of information, which is within just 1 gram of a small drop of DNA. Coincidentally, 13.5 billion years of information, all within your brain. You know what it means? It means that 13.5 is coincidentally or not coincidentally the years that is how old the entire universe is. So the reality is that the entire universe and all the information you need about the world that ever was and ever will be, because we are simply going back in memory, is all inside you. Can you imagine that? So when we say that the entire universe is inside you, it is indeed inside you in as far as memory is concerned. And we are looking at this as energy waves and frequency. There is what is called the Schumann frequency. This was the highest frequency that human beings who had ever lived on this world had kind of had. And it was about 7.83 hertz. I think about that. And it was about the highest frequency. These people could be in one place, and then they could feel something that is far away. And this would explain something which we call the theory of quantum entanglement in physics. This quantum entanglement would mean, if I get me Asha here, and I want to change David over there, I change Asha. I give her different information. Automatically, David across, even if he's on the other side of the planet, would have changed. So do you get what quantum entanglement means? It means that everybody is connected to the other. There are no new things that are being made. It's all about when we vibrate at a certain frequency, we access those particular kinds of memories and they come back to us. So that there is no new invention that anyone, new knowledge that anyone is going to. We have all the knowledge and information within us. So when we talk about the universe being inside of you, that is exactly what it means in this kind of understanding. So when we are talking about DNA, we will also say, what exactly happened to human beings if we have all this DNA? Why is it that some of us don't even seem to think like we have brains, you know? And then the real question is that there is what again we call junk DNA. 98% is unplugged in, it's not activated, it's not anything. How did this junk DNA come about? DNA which is just there, redundant and not used. About 200,000 years ago, scientists discovered that the human being was genetically modified from the original Schumann frequency of those people who wrote the Adinkra codes that are running the World Wide Web that we are using today. So we were genetically modified, and our DNA, there is chromosome number 2. The chromosome number 2 was gotten, it was linked up, and then when it was linked up, the ends of it, they put in what they call the telomere cap, which was put on top of this, the telomere cap. Now this telomere cap, when it was put on this, it also slowed down a lot of things about the active DNA of a human being. This is what we call genetic modification. It began a long time ago, about 200,000 years ago. So when they put this telomere cap on a human being, we found that the people who used to live on this planet with a high frequency, the people who used to live 1,000 years in all the historical books, the Sumerian books, the Emerald tablets, whichever books that they are historically, you could find that now they could not even live up to 120 years. Now people live 40, 30, they are easy. Now they discovered that, why is this the case? They discovered that it is because of this telomere cap, which was put on chromosome number 2. That is the time when the human being, about 200,000 years ago, had been started to be genetically modified. So the issue is, who modified the human being? Well, scientists cannot say anybody who modified it. They don't know. All they know is that a human being was 200,000 years ago genetically modified in a lab. The same way they genetically modify seeds. So we are in the same frequency of genetically modified food, which also didn't begin today, just because we are more popularized about it. It began also so many years. And also when we follow quantum entanglement, we see that there are so many things that connect people. And in that time when they were in that frequency, it was so easy for them to modify a human being. So this is exactly where we are with DNA. And with this information, Microsoft now has a chip that makes 433 terabytes. And it makes this, and they want now to put it within the brain, of a human being. What does that mean? That the human brain will not be the one with information, but the information put on that hard drive is what will move. After all, we are hard drives ourselves. We are walking hard drives. We are moving with 13.5 memory of the previous, up to the time when the world was created. So this is exactly who we are and our truth as human beings. Unfortunately, what you would wonder is that in schools, some of them may come across these things, but this is not information you'll use every day in as far as knowing what this information is and what DNA does. And even if you know it, it's not something people commonly know. And you would urge people to widen their horizons and try to figure out what exactly is this. Get to know a little bit more about yourself. So the junk DNA can be activated again when you align yourself with things, with this understanding and the rest of the world, that you have all the information in your head. There is no separation between you and another person according to the theory of quantum entanglement. This is why somebody can walk in a room and they are feeling very happy and they can carry you with their energy. If they are feeling sad, they can also take you along. So if you do something in another person's best interest, it is you raising your higher vibration. So you're not doing anything to help another person by being kind to them. You're raising your vibration and frequency to that level that actually activates you and activates your DNA and keeps and brings it, and it is more entangled. The more violence we have, the more things we have where we believe this one is enemy, the more we activate that, the more we create more of the same thing. So this is the reality of DNA, the usefulness of DNA within your body and within the life that we are today. So when I talk of that with genetically modified food, and this is what it is, it means anything that changes its natural form changes us. Do you get how weird the theory of quantum entanglement is? Anything that goes bad also makes us bad in one aspect or another. You do nobody a favor by not being kind to them. You're being unkind to yourself to begin with. So this is the reality of DNA and quantum physics. So a lot of people were asking me, what is this DNA? DNA, by the way, is light. It talks about the ether energy. The ether energy that we talked about, that I'll elaborate even further from this. The ether energy is about that energy that helps that fires up the electromagnetic waves within a human being.